What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and I'm going to talk about narcissists. And with narcissists, everything is a power play. Everything is power games. Everything is some kind of way to gain control or to gain an advantage or to sort of put themselves in first place and to try to put you in second place. Narcissists are constantly trying to do this kind of stuff. They do this stuff through manipulation and through games and through BS, you know? And I want to make a quick note about covert narcissists. Covert narcissists will do this same kind of thing, but they'll do it more from the framework of acting like a victim, from giving you your way, and from letting you do what you want, but they'll act very like, oh, you're just bossing me around so much, or oh, you're just such a dominating, controlling person, and I just have to follow along with you, but it's against my best wishes, or whatever, you know. The point is still the same, though. They're still controlling you. They're still on some level trying to gain power over you, whether they are overt or a covert narcissist. It's the same either way. And the thing is, like, with narcissists, if you have an idea, they will all of a sudden want to do the opposite. You know? If, let's say, you're involved with them and you're going out to a restaurant and you've got a certain restaurant you want to go to, and you're really wanting to eat some Vietnamese food, you're really wanting to eat some Mexican food, whatever, all of a sudden they will be vehemently opposed to that. All of a sudden they will be like massively against that, and they want to do anything and everything else but that, you know. And a quick side note about covert narcissists. Another thing a covert narcissist will do is they will let you make a decision. They will let you pick the restaurant, but then they will decide they don't like it. So they'll go, you pick, you decide. And I'll go, all right, I want to have some pho. I want to have some Vietnamese food. Oh, we can't have that. That's too weird. I don't want that. Blah, blah, blah. And then you'll go, all right, let's go for some Mexican food, you know? Let's do that. Safe bet. You know, oh, I can't. This place you're picking isn't that good, blah, 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 blah. And you go, all right, let's get some pizza. Oh, there's too much carbs in that. I'm trying to watch my weight, but, you know. So, yeah, just a quick side note, but that's how the covert narcissists will get you. They will let you make the decision, but then they will not like it, or whatever, you know, whatever. But getting back on topic, like, everything's a power play, you know. If you decide you have some restaurant you want to go to, the narcissist will all of a sudden not want to go there and demand to go somewhere else. And, oh, can we not do that? Let's do this instead. I don't like that, you know. They will all of a sudden need to do some different thing. And in the workplace, I've had good ideas that work well, that are simplistic, efficient. You know, I can tell you that, trying to remember this story properly, but, you know, I remember I had suggested a certain coworker make a spreadsheet to keep track of things, you know, very boilerplate, simple kind of thing, a little bit of just Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets, you know, baseline stuff, simple stuff. And he was vehemently against it and was like spinning his wheels so hard to find another way to do things. And it's like, well, it's just like, it's not stuff like that. And he was literally trying to engineer any way he could come up with to not need to put things onto a spreadsheet and to have some like different way of doing it, you know. I'm trying to remember the story properly, but maybe it was something else. Maybe, I don't know, but it was something like that, though, you know. And, you know, you'll deal with things like that where you'll want to do things a certain way, and they are just vehemently that it has to be another way, you know. You got to do it someday. You got to do it their way they're telling you. You know, same with directions and stuff. And you know, I've had it where it's like I'm trying to tell them like we got to leave at this certain time or we're gonna hit traffic. You know, I remember back in the day, I was in the Bay Area. You know, very bad traffic there. Especially like, you know, this was like 10 years ago, so really bad traffic back then. And you know, I'm on some road trip. I live up in Seattle, Washington, so we're driving, you know, like freaking 12 plus hours to do this. And you know, I had a friend who was he was a narc, you know, and I was telling him like, hey, like we got to leave earlier, you know, we got to leave early because we're gonna hit traffic, then we're gonna have to drive through the night. And he had like work the next day and stuff. This dude was really disorganized and was just really all over the place in his personal life. But you know, he literally has work the next day after this road trip. And I'm telling him like we should leave earlier so you can at least you know, get home and sleep for a couple hours in your bed and, you know, not have to sleep in the back of the car throughout the night. You know, I'm trying to tell him this and he just won't listen to me. We got to stay late. All of a sudden, we got to stay later. We got to hang out longer. We got to take the trip longer. And I'm like, I'm trying to look out for you. You know, this isn't really for me that much. This is more for you. And then the next, you know, we literally end up having to drop him off at his work. Like, how terrible is that a way to start your day, you know? Road trip all night, in a car all night, and then 8 o'clock the next day, drop him off there, you know? But it's just stuff like that, you know? It's just stuff like that where they just won't listen, you know? They need to be in control, you know? So once you start making decisions or you start doing things, they feel very weird about it. You're making a decision now, you know? They do. And I'm trying to think of some more examples, trying to think of some more, you know, anecdotes here and stuff. But that is how it goes with the narcs. They need to be, because it's their ego, you know. And if they're not in control, if they're not getting their way, all of a sudden, you know, it's some big ego issue. And I can think back to when I was quite a bit younger, like a teenager, and I would play basketball sometimes, and there's always going to be that guy who has to call foul on every single thing. And I'd play with a guy, and he was a smaller guy. He was a lot smaller than me, and he would just like freaking just throw himself into me, just kamikaze style, you know, trying to go for a layup or trying to drive the lane or something. It wouldn't work, and you know, me being a lot bigger than him, he'd end up getting, you know, knocked over. And there's no sidewalk here, and someone's walking in the middle of the street, so I gotta stop for a sec. But yeah, you know, so just dealing with that. And then he would basically just kamikaze himself into me and always he wore glasses, his glasses would go flying off. It'd be this big dramatic thing, and he'd go, foul, he'd call foul, and he'd be so, you know, pleased with himself. And then we played like a high school game against another school, and he tried doing that stuff, and the ref didn't call it, and he's lying on the floor, his glasses are falling off, and it's like, hey, you know, get back to it, you know. And oh my God, this street, man, they got the sidewalk blocked off, so people just walk in the middle of the street, and it's dangerous. And I had a homeless guy that was walking in the street, and yeah, no, anyways, back to business. But it's like they just do the silliest, weirdest stuff to get their way, you know? And that's what it is. They want to get their way. They want to have it their way. Sometimes it's like they know you have a better idea, and they know that you're someone who can actually come up with plans and is like creative and is practical and logical, and they know that your idea is better, but like they'll still want to poo-poo it, and they'll still demand to do something else. And you know, and it's even though they know that you got a better idea, even though they know that you have it figured out, because their ego will not allow them, you know? Their ego will not allow them, and they will demand to do it in some kind of a different way, And it's infuriating. It's annoying. And it's just very frustrating to deal with. And the thing is like, if you have other people in the room, they'll enable this. They will. Well, we have to review both ideas. Both ideas have to be looked at. They're both exactly equal ideas, and we have to look at them exactly equally, and we have to review them. And I've been at work where I've had a narcissistic coworker hit me with this stuff, and then the managers or whoever are, have narcissistic tendencies and are enablers and stuff, and that they're hitting me with this. We have to review it. It's both sides of the story. I'm like, all right, let's review this thing. Let's look into this thing. Let's weigh out the pros and the cons, please. And then we do that. And then what will usually happen, which is funny enough, what will happen is that weighing out the pros and the cons and the whole sit down and get together, that will end up getting skipped. And they'll just say, oh, you know what, Truth Tiger, we're just going to do it your way. We just decided to, and I'll get some little message or something. I'm not even kidding. Like, that's how they'll do it. And it's like, all right, I guess this whole reviewing things and we're going to look at both ideas fair and equally, I guess that was just all gaslighting. That was all manipulation. They had no intention of doing that. They're just trying to, like, slow me down. They're just trying to, like, throw some obstacle at my feet. They're just trying to, like, they're just trying to, like, drag their feet on things, And I'm just like, this is so ridiculous, If you wanted to review both ideas and look through both ideas and you genuinely did not know, great, let's do that, fine. If you genuinely do not know and you genuinely want to, weigh two things against each other. But they knew, and they were just trying to kind of impede me. They're just trying to attack my self-esteem and make me feel bad about myself and make me feel like I'm not smart and stuff like that, It's what they're trying to do. It is, and they're trying to just enable, and they're just trying to be weird little brats, They are. And, going back to the family, it got even worse, If I would ever have some idea about anything, my whole family would just jump down my throat and be, we have to do that. Why do we need to do that? Why do we need to eat at this restaurant? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to, And it's like they would just all jump down my throat and make me feel like my idea was the worst thing in the world, And it's just like, man, My God. But that's how it is with them. That's just how they roll, They need to get their way, and any idea you have, they're just going to poo-poo. And the reverse of this is like they have a lot of bad ideas, This narcissism is not good for their brain. It's not good for their sanity. It's not good for their thought process. It's not good for their decision making. And narcissists are very, like, emotional people, So they tend to make bad decisions. And they tend to be bad planners, Just the bottom line. And they also tend to not improvise things very well, And so it's like when I'm having to go along with the bad plans of a narcissist and I start to kind of see flaws in things, I start to see problems in things, I start to see ways in which this plan is like a bad idea and is inefficient and stuff, and I'll bring it up to them and I'll say, hey, like, we're wasting a lot of time doing this. Why are we doing this? Why are we driving all the way out here? We're wasting our time having to drive around and do all this stuff, And all of a sudden, we have to go out there. It's how we do things. We can't change it. And why do you not like this? Why do you have a problem? And they'll get really defensive. And sometimes they'll just be like, it's the plan. It's what we're doing. And just don't question it, They'll start saying that. And it's just like, they just want to be in control to be in control, And then when it comes to, when you're trying to have like leisure activities with narcissists and you're trying to hang out with them or whatever, it's just like, it's not fun anymore because they have to control everywhere you go, everything you do. And we have to go to this bar and we have to go to this restaurant. And, you just can't have any fun, being around like that. And then, they got to get into some drama with some random person, I've seen that a lot. And then they need to drag you into this argument or this fight that they're having, which is usually for no reason. But I've known a lot of narcissists and who like the nightlife and stuff, and half of the nightlife for them is just getting into random fights and random conflicts with random strangers for no reason. For, oh, I wanted this seat and you were sitting at that seat, and just, something dumb like that. And then it blows up and they want to drag you into it, and they just want to take over your life with nonsense, They really do. They really do. And they just, they really do. I mean, the power games are just like ridiculous, And if you're playing a game against a narcissist, a board game, chess, whatever, if you beat them, they don't like it. They trip out. You can tell it gets really deep up in their feelings just to lose a game, It's just like, whatever. It's not a big deal, and they always want to know what you're up to too, and what you were doing on the weekend, and what you were doing here, and what you were doing there, and they want to compare. They want to compare their life to your life, and they need to have this delusion in their mind that like they are doing better than you. And when that delusion gets broken, they start acting very, very weird. They start acting very, very strange. They are like super caught up on their own superiority. They really, really are. And like when it comes to dating and relationships and things of that nature, narcissists always want to leave you on red for longer, to take longer to reply to your text, to accidentally on purpose forget about the plans, to put you at a distance like that, or to just love bomb the crap out of you, and they're sending you a million text messages and giving you all these compliments and acting all crazy, and to get you to get those hearts in your eyes, so you're all like, oh, then they pull back, It's crazy games. It's crazy games, because like when they try to act so nice and they try to sweet talk you and do all that stuff, it's a way to get control over you, because you're not going to act defensive. And then once your defenses are down, all of a sudden they start to criticize all the things you do and start to be all up in your situation, And like they try to make themselves seem like an authority figure many, many times. If they are covert narcissists, they will try to make themselves seem like a moral authority figure. So think of like a therapist. That's someone people see as a moral authority figure. A pastor or a religious leader or a priest or preacher, or I grew up as an Orthodox Jew, so a rabbi or an imam or a guru or whatever, That's someone people look to as a moral authority figure. A teacher people look to as a moral authority figure, and they want to really craft this good, nice image kind of about themselves. And this is the covert narcissist that will more do this. And then people see them as this nice person, and it's like, well, he's such a nice guy. If he was mad at you, or if he criticized you, that really means something, or you really made him feel bad. You got to feel a lot of guilt. You made her feel bad, that she's such a nice lady. Oh man, you got to really feel a lot of guilt, and it's just nasty, And the overt narcissists will try to gain control over you with either outright rejection. So you're trying to come up and talk to them or whatever, and they'll just act like, I'm up here and you're down there, and why am I even going to give you a second of my time? They'll kind of do that. And if it works, you'll feel crappy about yourself. If not, you're just like, all right, bye-bye. And I've had to deal with that, where I've been like, all right, okay, you're a little too cool for me. You're a little too cool for school. Bye-bye. And yeah, but even if they're not outright rejecting you, they try to, it's like this. more often than not, they try to make you more of the black sheep in the family, the black sheep within the friend group, someone that other people will bully or kick around or stuff like that. They try to kind of get that designation and that mark on you, and once a few people start to do it, the whole group will start to do it. And I've seen this happen to kids in like high school and stuff, where the whole class and the whole group will turn against them. Luckily, it never really happened to me. I had a few instances like that, but I kind of whatever sensed what was happening somehow and was able to kind of reverse course and whatever, but they will try to do that, and they will try to really get everybody against you. They'll try to turn everyone against you, and then you don't have much power if the whole group is turning on you. It's unfortunate, but it's a big part of what they try to do. And yeah, like it's a lot of stuff. And I want to wrap up the power plays real quick, but like there's a lot more to this topic. I've kind of only scratched the surface, but just like criticizing you, like if they're someone who is in a position where they are criticizing you, that is in a way a power play, because it's like, I'm up here and you're down here, and it's like, you screwed up, what are you doing, and that is a way. And it's like, because it's like they think that they have the authority to criticize you, even just telling you how to live your life, and again, this is a covert narcissist thing, but someone smokes cigarettes or something, I don't know what it is, whatever it is, and you're going up to them, that's not healthy, right? And then they go and gossip, and he smokes, that's really bad for him. They do that, they do the tisk, and then it's like, we're up here on the mountain of judgment, and you're down there, the bad, nasty sinner, the bad person, and we're up on the righteous mountain of judgment, and we're looking down on you. They'll do that. The overt narcissists will do that, but it's more about good looks or social success or intelligence or something like that. So they'll be up there like, I went to an Ivy League school, and these losers down there went to community college. I'm up here, I'm better than them, I am superior to them. Or they say, I have more money than them, and they're poor, and they have nothing, and that's what I have, and they're losers. Or they'll say, well, I'm good looking, and there are these people, and they don't look as good as me, and they're losers. There's a multitude of reasons, and many times this is born out of delusion, and, most narcissists I've known have been losers. Their egos and their attitudes sabotage their lives, and they're all very self-hating when it comes down to it deep down. So most of this stuff is based upon delusion, for the most part. I've known a lot of narcissists who are like involved in pyramid schemes and real estate scams and stuff like that, and they're talking like they have their own business, and and I'm just like, no, you don't, you don't. And I see what your lifestyle is, and you don't. And they got some old crappy car, and they're trying to act like it's so nice and it's so cool. It's practically like a new BMW, And I'm like, bro, that BMW's got freaking 150,000 miles on it. It's going to need to go to the shop a lot. It's going to be a nightmare. Like, there's a reason you only paid $5,000 for it. It's not like new at all, And I've seen it all with them, I really, really have. But they really want to act like they're better than you, They really do. They're very into that whole, they're very into that. They're very, very into that. Like, we're cool and those people suck, They're very into that, And they're also very jealous of us, It's a complicated thing. It's a combination of like, of a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of kind of 1,000,001 ways that they are trying to get the power differential in their favor and against you. One way is just that you needing them. When you need them, like, they savor that. They really, they want to feel needed, because it's like, if they are, say, your parent or something like that, and, you know, they can do something for you that maybe other people can't, there is definitely a sense of like, ooh, like, if we kind of don't come through, he's screwed. You know, there is that sense of like, to them, they'll see it as like they got you painted into a corner, and then it's like, now you need me, you know, and they'll be real creepy about stuff like that and about situations like that. And if you're in a marriage with them, they will try to turn your own children against you. They will try to hold you hostage in the marriage. They will try to turn the legal system and the courts against you. They will, of course, try to turn all these family members and stuff against you, you know, and I've seen it with divorces and stuff, and it gets really, really ugly, and it gets really, really nasty, you know. It does. It really does. And yeah, I'm trying to think of a few more things maybe before I wrap this up, but yeah, everything is some kind of weird power play, and everything is some kind of way where like they want to make themselves think they're in charge. Like, it's like if you walk a dog that's poorly trained, it'll pull on the leash and it'll walk really close in front of you, and it'll do all this stuff because the dog in its mind, like an untrained dog, is going to try to sort of pretend that it's the pack leader, or pretend that it's walking in front, or pretend that it's like in charge and stuff, when it's clearly not, you know. And narcissists will kind of do the same thing. Toddlers will do the same thing, you know. If you got some little toddler, he's a little brat, eat your little squished up vegetables. No, I don't want to eat my vegetables. I want this, I want that. So you kind of gotta like be like, all right, you want, oh, we're gonna give you this then. Yay, I'm getting what I want. You know, like that's really where the narcissists are at, is like in the mindset of a defiant 2 or 3 year old child, you know. And when you kind of realize that that's what you're dealing with, it's like they do not have any of the power. They do not have any of the authority. You know, us chosen ones, us scapegoats, us just people who are aware of narcissists, who are emotionally intelligent, who are, you know, whatever, like we do actually hold the power, genuinely. And they will never hold that power, and they are very kind of jealous of us, and are like, we have something that they cannot buy with money, you know. We have peace of mind, we have self-control, we know who we are, you know. And they're constantly going to spin around in circles, not knowing who they are and not knowing what's going on and anything like that, you know. And another thing narcissists will do, they'll try to control what music you listen to. You gotta, all of a sudden, you gotta listen to this or that music or whatever, or I'm doing DJ thing in the room or whatever, I'll be playing DJ, or even cleaning and organization. They'll clean things up, and then they'll get really mad that you don't adhere to their exact system, and they'll use that as an opportunity to create a certain system for how things have to be. And then they will be very angry and passive aggressive and very in your face, just very nasty about how they enforce these certain rules they came up with. I had coworkers do that too, where like I come in, the whole office, the whole area is reorganized, and then there's somebody getting really mad about things and whatever. I was just like, dude, whatever, I don't care about you, you know. At that point, I was just done with the guy. But you know, it's nuts. It's like any little sneaky way they can gain power or gain control, they're gonna try to do it, you know. They really will. They really will. And you know, psychologically, they'll try to get in your head and stuff, and I'll get into that more in other videos, but they really will do a lot of gaslighting and a lot of weirdness and a lot of games, and they will try to kind of make you think about things in a certain way, you know. And the games get crazy. The games really do get nuts. I've got a good example of this. Like, I believe in Jesus Christ, you know. I follow Jesus Christ. He's my hero. He's the real deal, whatever. And I was talking to my mom about it, and there was some stuff going on. She does not believe in Jesus Christ. She's not on that wavelength at all herself. And I remember she says, well, you know, Jesus would want you to do this and that and whatever, and da-da-da-da. And I remember I almost fell for it, but then I stopped her and I was like, hey, number one, you don't believe in Jesus, so why are you telling me this? Number two, it's like you don't know what he would have wanted. You know, you can't just say that he would want this or he would want that. And then I didn't say all this exactly to her, but I kind of unpacked that all later. And then I was also thinking, like, how are you living your life? Is he going to be happy with how you're living your life? I don't think so, you know? So it's a lot of stuff like that. They'll figure out what's important to you, and they'll just play crazy games, you know? They'll just try to say things like that and frame things like that, and, you know, just like whatever you're into, they'll figure out. If you're into fitness, I'm into fitness, they're gonna, oh, well, you know, you're such a strong guy, so I think you could really help me carry all this heavy stuff. And it'll get worse than that. It'll get a lot worse than that, but they will play all these weird games and all these weird head games and just do the weirdest freaking stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to be it. But yeah, narcissists, everything is a power play. Everything is a power game. And as usual, God bless you all. Much love to you all. You all are super awesome. I really appreciate you guys. You guys and you gals and everyone who watches and subscribes and comments and likes and all that stuff. I really appreciate you all. And if you haven't subscribed already, yeah, please do so. And yeah, this is Truth Tiger, and I'm out.